And we know that there are these endocrine disruptors, right? And we know that they're extremely low testosterone, particularly not just in their own personal situation, because we know each one is a little different, just historically, right? Amazingly low, right? So how are we dealing with the fertility issue? Because see, one thing I don't want to do as a business owner, right, with you, is I don't want to be promoting something that all of a sudden, guys can't. They're not fertile, right? That's not something we really want to be doing, right? So you and I have had a lot of discussions about this, and I want sort of everybody to know sort of how we approach this from a business perspective and what your thinking is.
So it should come down to a methodology, right? The first thing that it's important to talk about, and then we'll go back and say, okay, well, let's create a plan for these people who are going to be interested in conceiving, right? The first thing that I think it's important to know is there's never been any study, any data that indicates any permanent suppression of sperm production when you take testosterone. Now, it certainly does suppress sperm when you're on testosterone, but there's plenty of evidence that you can come off of testosterone and your sperm production will go back to its baseline.
And what does that time frame look like? Do you have any sense?
Yeah, and it could take some time. Depending. Well, especially if we give you, there's a few caveats here. One is if we give you some medications to jumpstart your hypothalamic pituitary testicular axis, then it can be a little faster, right? If you're going from a point of where you've been on for a few years on testosterone and then you want to conceive, there's a few things we can do. We have had, I'm trying to think if I should go back and say, let's talk about this first. We have had plenty of success with using a specific fertility protocol that we've developed and getting people pregnant while they're on testosterone, which is pretty amazing because nobody ever thought that was possible, right? But
it's important for people to know about it.
And it's important. And Dr. Jordan Grant also talks about using a similar protocol, and he says you don't need to come off of testosterone to conceive. He's done it plenty of times himself.
And what does that look like?
We have a bunch of different compounds that we use. The two major ones that have the most effect are HCG and FSH. So in the hypothalamic pituitary testicular axis, your hypothalamus produces gonadotropin releasing hormone, which stimulates the pituitary gland to produce both luteinizing hormone, which then stimulates the testicles, the Leydig cells in your testicles to produce testosterone. The pituitary also produces follicle stimulating hormone, which stimulates the Sertoli cells in your testicles to produce sperm. We can give you that FSH. We can also give you that luteinizing hormone, right? We can just give you those two things, and then it will kind of turn your testicles on and have them
while you're on TRT.
While you're on TRT.
Okay, so that's an option.
Follicle stimulating hormone, your testicles will produce sperm.
And we've already seen success.
And we've seen success with that. Okay. Right? Here's a more practical approach, right? We always do ask all of our patients, do you intend to conceive? Here's the concerns.
So that's part of an onboarding survey.
Yeah, it's part of the onboarding. Here's the concerns, that it will shut down your sperm production while you're on testosterone, and it may be there could, the fertility protocol, will cost this much. You might have to do it for this long. It is very successful for some. The successes, but we've been very successul. But it's
individualized, like a lot of these things are. Yeah.
So here's a practical approach. Like if you're planning to conceive and you want children, we'd be remiss if we didn't give you other options first, right? We could, experiment with changes in lifestyle, some of these more natural implementations, just using HCG, which is just mimics luteinizing hormone, right?
So supplements to boost lifestyle changes, HCG, something like an HCG.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Supplements to boost.
So that may boost their testosterone without the TRT.
Without the TRT, that's correct.
And what about things like enclomiphene? Like people talk about that all over the place. Like there's this other drug out here you can boost your testosterone with it. What about things like that? So that's not even in our setup.
We have clomiphene available. I tell everybody I don't like to use it, so enclomiphene blocks estrogen receptors. Estrogen is very important. Like one of the biggest bouts of misinformation in medical history here is that testosterone is a male hormone and estrogen is a female hormone. It's just ridiculous. Testosterone is the most dominant sex steroid in females. They absolutely need testosterone. It's vital. Estrogen is absolutely necessary in males. If your testosterone goes low, you will have all kinds of side effects, right? You'll have, from anxiety to
And particularly if your
joint
estrogen
pain,
goes low.
if your
Your
estrogen
testosterone,
goes low.
yeah. Because my
Right.
testosterone is 2,900, my estrogen is like 120.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah.
out of range.
Yeah.
And when my doctor
Right.
saw that, he went, "What in the heck is going on here?"
Yeah. And,
So my estrogen is way out of range, right? But
Yeah.
I feel great.
Yeah. Yeah. But it shows you that the ranges are arbitrary.
Of
A,
course.
and B,
Of course.
that they should be in a certain balance with each other.
Right.
We evolved. Think about it this way: we evolved to convert testosterone to estradiol at a certain rate for a reason, right? They should be in a certain.
There's a
range
ratio,
of each
sort
other.
of that.
There's a
that's-
ratio.
Yeah.
So,
So with enclomiphene,
it blocks estrogen receptors, right? So
Gotcha.
what we're doing is we're blocking that estrogen that's very vital. So what we typically get is, although it will increase your testosterone, most people just don't feel good on it because estrogen is very important in your sense of
and it-
well-being.
and it tanks.
Yeah.
gotcha.
Well, it doesn't even tank; it just blocks the estrogen receptor. So your estrogen will look good on the serum, but it's not doing anything
Gotcha.
because the enclomiphene is actually.
Gotcha.
So this is how it works. It blocks the estrogen receptors in your hypothalamus. Remember, I said your hypothalamus reads your hormone levels, and it decides which one you need to produce based on the hormone levels. When we block that estrogen receptor on your hypothalamus, your hypothalamus says, "Oh, I need more estrogen." So the only way men get more estrogen is through the conversion of testosterone. So it just pumps out more testosterone
Yep.
to try to increase your estradiol, but you're blocking estradiol receptors. So you're not getting and using estradiol. So most people don't feel good because
The
estrogen is
ratios,
very important.
the ratios are out of whack.
Yeah, and estradiol is important. You shouldn't block it, right? So and there are cases where people do feel good, but usually they only feel good for a few months, and then they just don't feel good anymore, right? So clomiphene is just not a long-term answer, and I don't even like to start. Estrogen is important. There's no reason to block it. Let's not even start it.
So we're far better off just going another
Going in another direction. HCG would probably be the better option.
So what would be next after sort of trying the HCG supplement lifestyle changes boost? Let's say that doesn't work.
Okay,
There's going to be a percentage that it just
right.
doesn't work, right?
So let's set up with you to freeze your sperm, right? We're going to get some sperm from you. We're going to freeze it. You'll always have that tucked away.